What's going on, guys? It's Cooking with Carlos, and today we made butter chicken. So make sure you guys watch the video all the way through to learn how to make this delicious butter chicken. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. If you guys like this type of video, comment down below what your favorite part was. All right, so right now we're gonna marinate our chicken for our butter chicken. Oh, whoa, that was a little too many words. We're gonna marinate for our butter chicken. That's better. All right, so first thing we gotta do is get a bowl out, get our packs of chicken. I got tenders, but you could do it with any, I think. But usually use like thighs and stuff, but I like chicken tenders, so. But we're gonna cut them up and then we're gonna put them in the bowl. All right, guys, we got our knife and we got our cutting board. We're just gonna cut these into like bite-sized pieces. So we're gonna just take our chicken, just like that, like little bite-sized pieces, what I'm talking about. And then we're gonna just put them all in our bowl. All right, guys, I'm just gonna like speed this part up. So I'll see you guys when all the chicken's cut up. All right, guys, just like that, we finished up cutting all of our chicken. Now we're gonna start putting our ingredients for the marination in our bowl. All right, guys, now we're gonna take about probably like 5 tablespoons of Greek yogurt. We're gonna take some paprika. We're gonna do about like a teaspoon of this, maybe a little more. That was probably like 3 teaspoons of paprika. We're gonna do 2 teaspoons of curry powder, and then 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, 2 teaspoons of salt. All right, guys, we got our marination. Now we're gonna mix it up with our hands. Just like get it all in there. All right, once it looks like this, nice and coated, we're gonna wrap it up with the saran wrap and put it in the refrigerator for about an hour or 2. Now we wrap it up. Can't forget the beef, never, never, never. If you know, you know. Now we're gonna put it in the refrigerator for about 2 hours or an hour. Just depends. All right, guys, I'll see you guys when that's done. All right, guys, while we wait for our chicken to marinate, we're gonna start on our rice. We got it at medium heat, and we put 4 cups of rice, and then 1 tablespoon of oil, and we're gonna let this cook for about like 2 to 3 minutes. All right, guys, it's been about 2 to 3 minutes. Now we're gonna add our water, and we're just gonna do like two of these water bottles, and then a hat like towards like the bottom part to like right here of water. This rice usually takes about like 35 minutes to like 40 to cook, so we're gonna do other things to prepare for our. It's very important to put your top on your rice and just let that cook for about 35 minutes. So that's it for our rice, and then we're gonna move on to cutting our vegetables. So we got parsley right here, and then 2 medium-sized onions. We're basically gonna just dice these 2 onions up, and then for our parsley, we're just gonna try to pick off the leaves the best we can. You really just want the leaves because the stem part really doesn't add flavor, so it's just kind of pointless to cut that up with it. I'm gonna see you guys when all this parsley is done. All right, that didn't take as long as I thought. So right now we're just gonna chop it up. You could stack these up and then try to roll it, which maybe I'll try to do right now. I don't know if it'll roll right. Hold on. This is called chiffonade, if I can get it right. And you just like cut little strips, but it's a lot easier to cut when it's all like in one big pile. Once you guys have it nicely like minced up kinda, once you finish chopping this up, we're gonna put it to the side. We're gonna use it for our rice, and then towards the end, when our butter chicken's all done, we're gonna sprinkle some on top as a garnish. All right, we unpeeled our onions. Now we're gonna go wash them real quick. All right, we gave them a nice wash, and now you just take, you see how it has like the end, like the sprouts? You're just gonna take your onion, cut it right down the middle, and then since we're gonna dice it, we're just gonna slide our knife like that, like in between the layers, but don't cut all the way through it, but just like leave some, if that makes sense. And then just cut little lines. but also don't go through all the way. And then all you do is just dice it. So we're just gonna go like this. Throw the end part away. Some pieces might still need a little cut, but other than that, that's how you dice the onion. I'll get back to you guys once I finish dicing this other onion and this other half onion. All right, our onions are nicely diced up. Now we're just gonna set this aside for later for our butter chicken. And now we're gonna start getting out all the ingredients that we need for our butter chicken. All right guys, so right now we're gonna mise en place for our butter chicken sauce. So we got 2 teaspoons of sugar right here, and then 3 tablespoons of butter, 1/2 teaspoon of curry powder, 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper, and then we got garam masala, I think that's how you say it. We're gonna do 1 teaspoon of that. Here you guys go. If you guys need to know what exactly I'm trying to say. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but. And then 1 teaspoon of salt. So now we got all of our seasonings for our butter chicken sauce. So we're just gonna set this aside and we're gonna start cooking our chicken. All right guys, once your rice looks like that and it's like consumed all the water, we're gonna leave the top on it and we're gonna just turn it off. And we're just gonna leave that there, and make sure you guys like occasionally like look over and stir it so it doesn't stick to the bottom and burn. All right, we got our skillet on the stove and we're gonna turn it on to 6. Add 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil into our pan. Wait until this heats up and then we're gonna throw on our chicken and let it cook. Our pans are hot enough, so we're just gonna add our chicken. All right, so we got our chicken in our pan. We're just gonna let this cook for about 8 to 10 minutes until it gets like golden brown and it's cooked all the way through. And we're just gonna set it on a paper plate once it's done. All right guys, our chicken's at a golden brown. Now we're gonna take it off with our paper towel. Now set our plate of chicken in like somewhere that will keep it warm. So like a microwave. And now we're gonna start making our sauce. All right guys, in our skillet, we're gonna add 1 tablespoon of butter, add 1 whole onion to our skillet, and then we got some garlic, and we're gonna put about 3 tablespoons of garlic in there. All right, we're gonna cook our onions until they're translucent, and we're also gonna scrape up the bottom of our pan, and we're gonna reduce the heat to medium. All right guys, our onions are done. Now we're gonna add 1 teaspoon of sugar, and then 15 ounces of tomato sauce. Mix it up. Once your sauce is at a simmer, we're gonna add in our 2 cups of heavy whipping cream. Just like so. And then we're gonna add all of our spices in. Stir that up. Get our chicken back out and we're gonna add it into our sauce. You can make it more orange if you add in cayenne pepper, like a pinch, but it's gonna be a little spicy. Now we're gonna turn this down to a low and let that simmer for about 10 minutes. All right, once it's been cooking on low for about 10 minutes, we're gonna add in our last 2 tablespoons of butter, and we're just gonna let that melt in and it brings out more flavor. All right guys, we got these little pita breads and we're gonna put them in our little toaster and we're just gonna serve these on the side. All right guys, our chicken's done. Now we're gonna just put some garnish. So we're gonna add some parsley on top. And now we're gonna start building our plate. All right, I'll show you guys when our plate is done. All right guys, this is how our buttered chicken came out. It looks so good. So now we're gonna try it. Wow guys, this is actually really good. You guys need to try this. With that so, thanks for watching guys, and always remember, life's good when the food is great.